What's up guys, Mayor from iTech224. Today I have a review of the Nexus 7 tablet, which is by far the best tablet in its price range. This 7-inch $200 tablet has features and the design of what you would normally pay double for. On the front of the device, you have the 7-inch 1280 by 800 HD display with a pixel density of 216 ppi. And although it is not quite Retina display quality, there's nothing to complain about here. Above the screen, you'll see the only camera on the tablet, which is a 1.2 megapixel front-facing camera. Now the quality is not great, but it's a front-facing camera, so in all honesty, you're not really going to use it for anything that needs high quality. The back of the device is wrapped in a black, matte, perforated case that provides plenty of grip and really looks great. Up at the top, you'll see the big Nexus logo showing off that you have a Nexus device, and moving down to the bottom, you see the Asus logo, and they are actually the manufacturers of this tablet. Right below that, you have the speaker, which, in my opinion, could be louder, but it isn't terrible. On the top right side, you have your lock button, and below that, you have your volume controls. At the bottom, you have your headphone jack and your micro USB port. I really find the design of this tablet to be phenomenal, and I always enjoy looking at it because it's really designed well. Underneath that very nice shell, you have everything that you would expect from a modern day tablet, and it is all powered by a Tegra 3 quad-core processor clocked at 1.3 GHz. Now, it's not the fastest, but for $200, you'll never notice the difference coming from a more powerful tablet. And you also have 1 GB of RAM for all your multitasking needs. The battery life is quite impressive as well, up to 9 hours of HD video playback and 10 hours of web browsing or e-reading. And when you want to set it down, you have up to 300 hours of standby time. Now when I use this tablet, I can often use it for a few days before having to give it a full recharge, but if I do use it constantly, I do see that the battery goes down quite fast. But with everyday normal usage, you can usually go 1 or 2 days, no problem. All that internal power comes together to bring an experience that never leaves you disappointed. One of the biggest selling points of this tablet is that it is running Android 4.1 Jelly Bean. Google's latest version of Android is really the biggest step I've seen in the Android platform thus far. This is my first Android device, and the main reason I've never had one is because I've never been satisfied with the fluidity of the OS. Every time I use it, I feel like it's lagging, I feel like my finger never really inputs it, but Android 4.1 really seems to fix that. Project Butter makes everything flow perfectly and nothing really lags behind like it used to before. 60 frames per second really makes the tablet enjoyable to use and really makes Android a better platform in my eyes. You also get features like Google Now, which is much like Siri, only faster. How tall is the Eiffel Tower?
The Eiffel Tower is 1,063 feet tall.
Although I never really use it much, I'm really impressed when I do, and it always gives me the correct answer. Now there's a ton more in Android 4.1, but those are the main things that were advertised and the main selling points of the new OS. So what do I think of the Nexus 7? Well, for $200, you cannot go wrong, and it is the best tablet on the market in that price range. I love my iPad, and I honestly never thought anything could replace it, but I find myself using the Nexus 7 a lot more just because of the size and the portability of it. It's just easier to carry around and easier to use. Now, I'm not even going to talk about the other competition such as the Kindle Fire because there's really no competition there. If you want to get a 7-inch tablet, don't ever look at the Kindle Fire over the Nexus 7. The Nexus 7 is a way better tablet. Now there are some gripes I have, and I'm going to keep this away from Android itself because I'm still not a huge fan of it. But as for the tablet itself, I thought I was going to be a huge fan of not having a home button, but I find that it's really quite annoying and I often hit it on accident, and it's just really not what I like. Also, like I said before, the speaker on the back is not as loud as I would like it to be, and it could have a more full range. But for the size, it's not bad. Now this last thing is something that I've noticed on a ton of Android devices, and is that the white balance on the screen is just off. The screen has a big yellow tint to it and really throws off all the colors. I never really hear anyone bring this up, and although the screen is beautiful and crisp, I would never want to edit photos on it or look at photos on it for that matter because it just really changes the way a picture looks. Now being that the Nexus 7 blows the competition out of the water, people start comparing it to something like the iPad or another 10-inch tablet, and to me, they're completely different categories. A 10-inch tablet is really for a more power user and really can get more done on it. And the 7-inch tablet is more for lounging around the house and you just want something that you can pick up and easily watch a video on or read a book on. My iPad is more something that I can take with me to school and use it as a desktop replacement instead of having to take my laptop around or instead of having to take my textbooks around. For me in college, I actually use my iPad on a regular basis instead of my laptop, but I could never ever see myself using a Nexus 7 in a college situation. But like I said, Nexus 7 is its own niche, it's its own thing, and what it does very well. So for $200, you cannot go wrong. If you want to get into the tablet market very easily and have the most up-to-date Android software, go with the Nexus 7. You cannot go wrong. Anyway guys, that is my review of the Google Nexus 7 tablet. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up and make sure you guys subscribe as well. That would be awesome. Again, my name is Matt from iTech224 and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.